Okay, we have confirmation. He can hear us. All right, we'll jump right in. Well, hey guys, welcome. Great to have you. This is our second Facebook Live. We're talking with Chris Cormier here. We're talking through all things form, all things fitness, the mission of who we are as a brand, and how that can add value to your life, how that can add health and fitness to your life. I want to do just a brief introduction. Last week we talked about the overarching philosophy of our programming, bringing health, fitness programming, and the benefits of personal training on our platform. And this week we're getting into it a bit more, getting into how you actually program a specific workout or a specific plan, not just fitness philosophy at large. So we brought in one of our specialists, Chris. Chris, welcome to the talk here. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit of your background, who you are as a trainer, and what you're doing here with me.
Thank you for having me on, Jonathan. I really look forward to this discussion. My name is Chris Cormier. I've been in the fitness industry for the past 13 years as a trainer, a strength and conditioning coach. I've worked at many different gyms and companies, as well as worked with many different athletes in basketball and football in the either professional or semi-professional world. And I'm really excited about the conversation we're having here today. And yeah, I think that's a little bit about myself.
Awesome. So a lot of sports background. Tell me, what are you most passionate about as a trainer? Is it still sports, or is that morphed over the years?
So I played a year of college basketball before injured my ankle. Sports I'm very passionate about, but when I actually really did get into learning, how to train people and really learning how to guide people to the results that they would like to achieve, I was really passionate just about like helping others get to whatever that result was. So in the beginning, it was very much passionate about sports and training everybody, in that sense. And over the years, it's maturated to understand that the results that somebody's seeking could be very different and very vast from what my own goals are, and really helping them achieve that is what really excites me. So working with all different demographics has been really, really exciting to me over the course of my career.
Awesome. So here's a loaded question. If something doesn't come quickly, you don't have to answer, but is there one of your most memorable moments with a client, going from the sports world into the training world and bridging those two and finding, higher levels of value beyond the competitive field? Is there a specific client or moment or workout as a trainer that sticks out as kind of some of the driving force behind or a good example of the why behind what you do?
I've had a specific client in the past who actually was an ex-athlete, and unfortunately she started to acquire some health complications and issues. One being a connective tissue issue, where it didn't allow her to play sports because she would risk injury in a very high fashion. And so being able to assist her in just continuing to keep healthy and continue to work out and to continue to find ways to stay motivated, still feel athletic, even though you can't particularly do a lot of athletic things that your body may used to have been doing, or your mind, it used to have been doing. That was very rewarding for me, because it wasn't just a result driven in terms of seeing something measurable. It was a result driven in seeing something come out of her and getting joy back into what she was doing within health and wellness. And so for me, that's what I really aspire to and enjoy in my training career now, is helping individuals, reach that. I as well want to make sure we get deliverables if that's exactly what we need and what we're searching for. But at the same time, I think there's a large range of what we can consider results, and helping someone achieve that is, I think, the greatest thing that you can do.
That's awesome. One of my mentors when I was an athlete would remind me often, like, enjoy the journey. Like, it's not all about the training. It's not all about the performing. And for me to ask you about training and a memory, and you said helping them find their joy, that segues into my next question perfectly, which is today's topic is, building workouts that get results. what does that word results mean to you? I know that it's easy in fitness to just automatically assume some things, but when we're building workouts for results, what does that mean? What are results?
Within that question, we first have to ask is, what does results mean to that individual, and what do results mean to yourself? I think there's a very large spectrum of what we could consider results. There are measurable things. If you have a weight loss journey that you're going on, that's very measurable, right? We want to ensure that we are hitting certain marks by certain dates, and if we're not, right, we understand, when and where we might have to change and adjust. There are other, things that aren't very measurable, right? But they're very seeable. So, to piggyback off what I mentioned before, is someone's joy and someone's happiness, within their own life. How do you really, measure that? But you can see it and you can feel it. And a lot of the times I've had clients who I've tried to really detail within the journey about, what is it about? Is it about getting to a particular point, within your journey that you have seen a level of results that is measurable, but then what it does for you in terms of your joy, in terms of your happiness, in terms of you understanding that you are living, the healthiest self that you can, and getting the results that matter to you most right now. Because a lot of the times, what we do, within our journey is we measure and we stack up with where we once were. And so therefore, we oftentimes look for a result that maybe we once had before, but it may not serve us in this current, aspect of our journey and where we're at. So we have to reformulate that. It's a ongoing, constant reorganization, the understanding is that what I really want now, or what I really need now, or is there something else that, I need on this journey?
That's awesome. Yeah, some call it extrinsic versus intrinsic results, and how fitness, people come in and think like, well, I either lost fat or I didn't, and that's the only purpose of this, or I either gained the muscle or I didn't. And what they're not recognizing along the way is like, oh no, you also gained some self-confidence, or some excitement to get up in the morning, or that developing that mental muscle to go after a goal and attain it, and put in the hard work and not give up whenever it gets difficult. And then all of a sudden, my cross country coach in high school used to say it all the time. He'd say, you guys don't know it, but what you're doing right now is making you better men, better husbands, better fathers in the future. You're learning to not give up when things get hard. And you can't measure that result, but I carry it with me to this day. So I love that you immediately went to those intrinsic things and it may be good for our listeners to hear that, hey, fitness is not just about the physical. It's not just about the fat loss or the muscle gain. It's actually about elevating all areas of life and bringing that physical part into it so that it levels up everything else. So cool. Well, that's some like soft, mushy, gushy stuff. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of what does it look like to build workouts to get results. I'm going to start at a bigger picture for people on here who maybe they go for a walk every day. Maybe they go to the gym and they're like, I don't know what to do. And the free weights look scary. So I just go to the elliptical, and then all of a sudden they're not seeing results. Tell us how to get results and how we approach working out at a bigger picture.
The first, I think, instance that we've discussed is, what is the level of result that I want to achieve? And so once you understand that, if there are measurables that you want to achieve, I have a specific amount of weight loss that I would like, a specific amount of muscle gain that I would like, right? Or even if it's something to do with speed work, I want to get faster, whatever it may be, right? We've designated that and we understand what that is. And then we need to gauge where our knowledge base is in understanding how to actually accomplish that. And so, once we're able to have those understandings, then you're going to be able to say, okay, I need to figure out, one, how I get to this result. So is that finding information and finding videos, getting help and assistance from someone, at the gym, or, someone that I can work with online in order to help me get this result. But you first need to be able to acquire that information to get to the success rate that you really want. Once you have that understanding, it's really about, okay, how often do I have to actually accomplish the result too? So how many days per week do I have to work out? You know, some people will say, I'm going to go to the gym 5, 6 days a week and I'm going to be on it and I'm going to be able to be in there for 60 minutes, 90 minutes to 2 hours. And a lot of times it's not logical to, you know, how their life is set up. So, you know, first we need to understanding what the cadence
Right.
is of, okay, I have the information, now what's my cadence to the workout, okay? And then from there, it's being able to go out and execute it, you know, consistently. So I think once you have those components, it makes it a lot easier for you to accomplish the result that you're searching for. But first is, you know, what is the exact result that I'm looking for? You know, second is, do I have the information in order to be successful, you know, in what I'm trying to do? And then third is, okay, you know, how much time do I actually have to get to this result and receive this result, right? Because if you don't set up those things in the right way, you'll never leave yourself a chance to actually accomplish, you know, what you want to.
Great, great. I know you're answering in a very educated way, because every question I ask, you're like, well, it depends, and it does. There are so many factors that on the level. A question that maybe people just getting into fitness would ask, or would want to hear from you. What's the least amount of, you talk about cadence, what's the least amount of days and time I could work out and get results? I won't get into protocols yet or what I'm going to be doing with that time, but how many days a week and how long does the workout need to be in order to start to have an anticipation that you're going to see some results?
Giving yourself 3 days per week and then giving yourself an hour to work on your health is where you're going to be able to see a good level of result coming. You know, that allows you to get through full workouts, and that allows you to work on multiple different aspects within that single workout that can help you get to the result that you really want to. Anything less than that cadence kind of leaves you handcuffed to getting to whatever result that you may want to. It doesn't matter if it's a cardiovascular goal or whether it's a weight training goal, building muscle. You really want to give yourself enough time to be able to accomplish that result. So in 3 hours within that week is really, really good to, one, have overall just regular health levels, but then if you're trying to really work towards something, like that's the baseline that you would want to give yourself.
Great. Before I go on to the next question, what if I only have 20 minutes? Is that a waste of time, or can I get benefit out of 20 minutes a few times a week?
Benefit out of any type of workload that you would like to do, right? So if you have 20 minutes within your day, do that 20 minutes, right? And if you have that 20 minutes each day, continue to do that, right? Everybody's lives look different. Now, how you would program for that would be vastly different because you don't have the same amount of time. And I would always say, like, you have to remember, you know, it's not just, you know, how you're programming yourself and what the workload is, it's as well how you recover from that, right? So whatever you're doing within that 20 minutes, make sure it's manageable for you to continue to do on a daily basis. If that's all the time that you have, make sure whatever that workload is manageable for you to recreate each and every day so you can have that consistency, right? Because if you're going to be doing that over a 5 to 7 day span, right, you're pretty much going to almost amount the time that you would over those 3 days.
Yep, get it. That's great. So a few days a week, if I in an hour each time, if I only have if I have less time, that's all right, because I'm still moving the needle forward. Now, again, at the base level, what should I be doing with that time? Do I, like, I got my gym membership, I figured out how to get in there 3 times a week. Sometimes I have an hour, sometimes I have half an hour. What should I start doing in order to get results? Do I speed walk the treadmill every time? Do I lift heavy weights every time? How do I get some results out of knowing that I got my gym membership and I've got an hour, 2 hours a week to get something in?
I mean, kind of piggybacking off what we spoke before, the level of time dictates, how you want to move forth in what you do. I think the big misconception, with cardio is that it's the ultimate kind of warm-up methodology. And although cardio and that form of warm-up has a lot of benefits, for you, it's not always not the right thing for you to be doing, based off the result that you want to get. I would say if you are a person who only has that 20 minutes or that 30 minutes each day to get something done, is that you focus more on warm-up activities that, one, does get your heart rate up, does get you moving, but get your body primed to go through resistance training workouts, right? In that short amount of time that you're doing. Your cardiovascular warm-ups, although they will help you raise your heart rate and help your body, kind of get warm, what it's not working on is helping you get prepared for certain movement patterns with load, right? And so you really want to have movement prep that's going to mimic whatever you're going to be doing within that day. So if you are running within that day and that's the program, then a treadmill warm-up, right, or Stairmaster warm-up or something of that nature might be ideal for you to do. But if you are doing something maybe resistance training driven, right, you want to do some warm-ups that are more consistent with what you're put your body through. So that way your body has an understanding is this is what, I'm asking of you for this day. And so I think that's the thing that a lot of individuals going in the gym need to realize, that like you kind of want to mimic exactly what you're going to be putting your body through in that day.
That's great. Yeah. And critical long-term for good results and feeling healthy is like prepping that movement to make sure that it mimics, so that you're not just running in and, doing some arm swings and then jumping under the bench and repping things out on either cold or immobile muscles. So you spoke a little bit about recovery. I'm hearing components of you saying if it's a cardio day, fine. If it's a weight load day, fine. So I'm hearing, okay, so variation actually is probably a big part of this, that there's no perfect mix, but there should be variables. Talk to me about, for our gym bros and our muscle heads, the value of mobility being a proactive part of the programming and approach there.
Is your foundation. And so the one thing that I think a lot of athletes, have learned over time is the better that your body can move is at a greater mass you can move. And so once you have that understanding, you will really value your recovery and value mobility and flexibility training, because without it, you're just not as powerful, as strong as you want to be. And it makes it harder for you to get to the result that you're really searching for, regardless of, what it actually may be. It could be cardio, it could be resistance training driven in terms of wanting to get a better bench press or wanting to get a better squat. Mobility is our foundation to our strength, right? It helps our body be more stable when we're able to move through ranges of motion, right, at a more freer capacity. And so, depending on, once again, what's your workout cadence, how long are you working out for, right? If you only have like that 20 minutes within the day to work out, you may have it at 5 minutes at the end of that workout, right, that you're doing a true recovery, whether that be foam rolling or whether that be stretching, right, before you leave out of the gym. Or you might give it its own separate day, right, within that 20-minute workout. So, you could be working out, Monday, Tuesday, and that could have been a weight training day and a cardio day. And then Wednesday, you're just working on foam rolling for that 20 minutes, stretching out, and then getting your body prepped for Thursday and Friday's, workout, right? And kind of the same for the 3-day cadence, where, you might have that at the beginning or end of your workout session, right? Where you're going to be able to have maybe a little bit more time to really work on those things, right? A lot of times for myself, what I do, within my workouts is the first 10 minutes is, our mobility series, right? That really gets my body prepared for the workout. And then the last 5 minutes is a stretch, routine that allows my body to understand that, I'm on the come down. I'm ready to relax again, from that high intensity work that I just put it through.
Great. Okay, so quick recap. I asked what are results, and that was a multifaceted answer for you. It's like, it's not just fat loss, it's not just muscle building, it's joy, it's feeling good about yourself, it's making and attaining goals. So to get out of the mindset of fitness is, I just want to go lose weight, what do I need to do? It's, hey, first of all, think about it as living life at a healthier, happier level. and all of the components that go into that. And then we talked about programming and how long you have to work out. So you're telling me a few days a week, up to an hour a session. That's a good target to start with, to expect that I can start to get results out of fitness. And then I think what you're saying, you have been saying, is, and there's variation in that. So there's not just there's not the one-stop shop, there's not the one move, there's not the one workout, there's not the one style. It's not hit circuits or nothing, it's not lifting or nothing, it's not cardio. It's a balanced approach of a lot of things to attain a lot of different results, not just one thing for just one result. Tell me, I'm going to pivot a little, with all of that variation, what are some common pitfalls or misconceptions that you see people making on their own as they try and navigate this journey?
The biggest thing that I see is people being very hard on themselves along their journey. Because whenever we do set what we want our result to be, and whatever we do kind of set the cadence of what our workout regimen is going to be, and gain an understanding of what we need to do, we also need to understand that, through change, there are absolutely going to be some pitfalls, as we're mentioning it. So I think the biggest pitfall that people come into is how hard they are on themselves, within their own fitness journey. You have to understand there might be some days that you have a hard time getting to the gym. You don't make it to the gym, on that day. You understand that, like, doing it tomorrow is going to be valuable as well, right? And ensuring that, you keep a level of consistency with it. And as long as you are doing it up to the cadence and up to the task, you're going to get a level of result that you'll be great with, and that you'll take pride in. But I think the biggest thing is to understand, as you're going through change, there are going to be instances that you do have downfalls. And so when those happen, not to beat yourself up too much, not to get too down on yourself, or not to feel like you completely scrapped what you're doing, right? Just understand that, like, hey, that I wasn't that successful on that day, let me come back to it tomorrow, right? And continue with that mindset. And when you do that, you'll find over the course of time, you've been able to keep a level of consistency, right? And then with that consistency, you're going to garner a level of result. And so is the level of result, ultimately what you may have set out for yourself? It may not be, but the biggest thing is you're going to be that much closer to the result that you really wanted to get to, rather than if you just kind of scrap everything and you keep bouncing around, right? And keep changing, what it is that you want to accomplish, or keep changing, what it is that you expect to do on this day-to-day basis.
Sure. That's great, man. We didn't have time to touch on how long you've been training, but I know, we're not the youngest bucks in the shed here, but I know I've been, and my fitness journey is great. So I've been working out for over 30 years. To hear you say, like, consistency and yourself grace, and not beating yourself up when things get hard or when you miss a workout. Future conversation, one of our other trainers is on motivation and what happens when you lose it. And I think you're already speaking into that grace and that understanding that it's a journey, it's not a checkbox, and it's not a pass fail. It's an integrated part of life. So all good stuff. One last big question for you. You talked about how people, how long they can work out to expect to see results, what they should be doing, what those results might look like. Tell me about, obviously at Forum, we've decided to create technology that connects human to human activities so that we can give good guidance and support on people's fitness journey. Tell me what it looks like and you as one of our founding trainers in a live virtual one-to-one environment. What does it look like to have programming from you and go on that journey with you?
I really love Form, and the reason why it's connected fitness. And I think the great thing about it is that when I'm programming for my clients, not only am I able to deliver workouts in which I'm scripting for them, I'm also able to give them deliverables in terms of video on demand content that we have on the platform. And so with those two things, as well as seeing me in session, it really brings a foolproof plan, right? And it makes it a lot easier on my clients, and I would assume a lot easier for the individuals who are on the Form platform to stay successful. Whether that is in the day, and you like to mention before, hey, maybe I only have 20 minutes for a workout, within that day. And the great thing that's on the Form platform is there's 20-minute video on demand classes to do, right? And or I can program you a 20-minute day or a workout to give for you for that day so you can stay successful. I'm also able to check in and see if you're able to complete that. And so coaching conversations are a huge thing within this industry, right? And being able to have all that information in one place and being able to say, hey, I know we may have not been able to get to a Monday, but let's get to it on Tuesday. And then, Wednesday we have our workout together, right? And then Thursday and Friday, I'm going to have more scripted workouts for you to do, follow along. They'll have videos that you're able to follow along too. So a lot of what we discussed before, right, is really helping individuals, right, wherever they are within their journey. There's some people who are going to have a better understanding of fitness and what they need to do. And if I program a workout and okay, I know what that exercise is, I can complete that and get it done. And then there's others who are very new to it, right? And like you said, that consistency comes from being able to provide, a level of ease, for the client. And that's exactly what I think the Form platform does, is it makes the fitness experience and journey, very easy, very convenient. And that brings a level of safety as well, which will bring a level of result.
Awesome. You said something somewhere in there. You said something about if one day is with you. Are you typically seeing that you'll do one day with the person live virtually, and then the rest of the week you give them either video on demand or custom workouts or things to go do on their own? Is that kind of the cadence that you found to work well?
I have clients currently who either do one day a week or twice a week, and then I center everything else around that. So video on demand content from our great library, and so that can be the recovery day, or if they have a favorite instructor for strength day, I give them a strength video on demand class. And then as well, I give them what we call custom plan session. And custom plan session is usually, for me, mimicking of what we did in session, right? Because
Sure.
the biggest thing is for my clients to learn and to understand. I want them to grow within their journey. And so, a lot of the times I'm giving them, activities and exercises that what we've done in session, and I want them to go and try it on their own, right? And complete it on their own so that they can have, take a level of power within what they're doing, and understanding that they're taking a strong hold, of their own health and wellness. But, between those three things, what I've really come to find out is that, the Form client really enjoys, that process of being able to have, me to bounce things off within session, but then as well being able to follow along workouts, whether that's a custom plan session or whether that's a video on demand class.
Awesome. That sounds great. I'm actually about to join the journey and use one of our trainers, and they're going to take me on a program. So I'll do weekly check-ins with them, one session with them, and whatever they assign me throughout the week. So it sounds similar to what you're doing as well. So, well, awesome. We're pushing close to 30 minutes here. I do have one last question, not so much on the programming. If you had to leave this audience and these listeners with one message or one takeaway on how they could succeed in their fitness journey, or what you want to impart and leave for them, what would that one thing be?
I would want to depart in saying that, this fitness journey, it's a lifelong journey, and to be kind to yourself along your journey, and to understand that you're going to go through, peaks and valleys along the way. But the one thing to understand is that, to have the self-confidence in yourself, and to understand if you put in the work, that you're going to get what you want out of it. And so, do what you can on the day that you can do it, and understand, along the way that you're going to be able to get to where you want to go.
Awesome. I love it. Good stuff. Well, it's been a pleasure talking with you. I feel like that flew by. I'd love to pick your brain again. We'll do it again. We'll pick another topic.
Definitely. I had a really great time. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah. Appreciate your insight and your knowledge. And guys, if you have any other questions on programming or where we can give you guidance, either through our platform or even just some tips on this Facebook community page, please, ask away and we'll plug in what we can. So, all right. Thanks so much, and I'll catch you next time. All right. See you.